Hey everybody, this is Wendy. Welcome. We are going to make a fun Z-fold card using these gorgeous embellishments, and I just love this new set that's going to be available in just a few days on August 1st, or you could get it now. Great sentiments, great images. You can get it now by becoming a demonstrator before July 31st, and you can add it to your kit. And you can see the number on the screen there to add it to your kit if you want to. There's also some awesome watercolor pencils. Okay, so to get started, we are going to use the hardwood background for heaven's sake, stamp. And I'm inking it up in Sahara Sand ink. And I'm going to stamp it on this piece of Whisper White cardstock. I always use thick Whisper White cardstock because I prefer a heavier weight when I am making my card bases. I frankly really do not care for a flimsy card. It bugs me. So I almost always stamp using the heavier, thick cardstock. Okay, so now I've flipped it around and I'm going to ink up again, and I am using the Stamparatus tool here to do this. You could use a Misty if that's what you have. I have a Misty, but I like the size of the Stamparatus a little bit better, and I like the fact that it's open on the edge so that I don't have to worry about my cardstock kind of getting a crease in it or something when I close the lid. So that's super easy. But as you'll see on my cardstock, on each end, on each side, there's just a little strip of white. So I went ahead and took my trimmer and just trimmed those pieces off because I knew it wasn't going to matter if this was exactly 5.5 inches wide, which I should add, this is 5.5 inches by 8.5, and I'm scoring at the 5.5 and then at the 2 1/8. So you'll fold it forward like this. So there's my first fold, and then back. That makes your Z fold. So very, very simple. Z folds are super fun, super easy to do. So I have several pieces here that I've already cut with the stitched framelits, and I have the stitched framelits are beautiful, by the way, from the Blended Season bundle. And so I've already cut some of those and sat and colored them with my Stampin' Blends. The one I'm adhering down is colored with Mint Macaron and Flirty Flamingo, two of the new blend colors, which I can't even give Stampin' Up enough kudos, credits, shout outs for adding more colors to the blends repertoire. I was so happy about that. So here's a little trick. I'm taking the other die cut, lining it up with the one on the front, and I have the adhesive facing me, and then closing the back. So now when I open this, I have a place to do my writing on the inside. So for my sentiment, I'm using a piece of Sahara Sand cardstock, and then I'm stamping in Sahara Sand ink, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment "Thank You" from the stamp set. And it is just so, I just love the font. It's so pretty. So I'm going to trim that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a ribbon or fishtail edge. And I wanted this just a little bit thinner, so I stuck it in this trimmer here, and I'm trimming off just a little bit, about a little over 1/8 of an inch probably. Then I'm going to take my paper snips, do a little snip in, and then snip on each side, and voila. Now this was not a measured piece of cardstock. This was just a scrap I had. If you are watching this video and you're thinking I'm moving awfully fast, it is because this video is sped up. This video was originally 30 minutes long, and I knew you didn't probably want to hang out that long with me, so I sped it up just a little bit. So if you see that I'm moving a little bit fast, that's why. Okay. However, what I did is I did not edit anything out of this video. And I did that purposefully because I wanted you to be able to see my process in making my cards. And I also wanted you to see my coloring because I want to talk about that just a little bit. So I'm adding the "Thank You" sentiment right on top. And I have to admit, it was hard for me to do that because I was covering up some of those gorgeous flowers. So as you can see, that card and these little pieces are beautiful spring colors. But then I'm going to show you right here how you can also have a beautiful Christmas card. So again, 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 5.5 and 2 1/8. Then I'm going to take the Under the Mistletoe Designer Series paper, which has been cut at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 to go there, and another strip at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and it will go in the middle. And then I have a piece that's cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and this will go on the inside piece. So I thought it would be fun to make a Christmas card with this stamp set and bundle, because it's just so beautiful. No matter how you color it and no matter what you do with it, it ends up gorgeous. So I've got my die cut here, and I'm going to ink up with Memento Tuxedo black ink and stamp my image. FYI, when you are stamping, you want to just do a really nice straight down, straight up stamp. Then I've got Granny Apple Green and Poppy Parade, and we are going to color this in just a very slow sped up speed. So I want to explain what I'm doing. I'm taking the dark marker first, and I'm going around the edges where I want my shading. I want there to be a little bit of a highlight in the middle of these petals. I want that part to pop out and stand out more. I want my darker areas to be where they would naturally be if this flower was outside, which would be in the center towards the center area of the flower, and then on the outer edges, if it was folded over, you would have it a little bit darker, and the light would be hitting it somewhere in the middle. I'm coloring the base of the flower just with the dark marker because it would be the darkest. Now I'm going around and I'm blending out on the edges, but as you can see, I'm still leaving a white spot there. And this is just to kind of give a little bit of a blend and lighten that up just a little bit around the edges, but not to go all the way into the center, because I want to reserve that to make it the lightest I could possibly make it. The more pigment you add, the more ink you add, the more you color over it, the darker it will get. So if you reserve some white area, now you'll see if I go over that white area, it does stay lighter than the other area. You can see here, if you really look, that center spot is a little bit lighter. Now, I will tell you that with Copic markers, it's much easier to achieve this. As you know, I'm a big fan of coloring. I color a lot of stuff. And so I'm just giving you my best tips. So again, I'm starting with the dark here, outlining the areas I would want to be shaded or darker, and then going in with the lighter marker. If I was using Copic markers, I would start with my lighter marker and I would build. But with blends, you only have 2 markers, so you can't get too crazy with your ink layering because there's only a couple of choices. I'm using the dark Daffodil Delight blends to color in the center, and it just gives this gorgeous flower that pop that it needs, and that's it. That is how simple it is. So this one I colored with Call Me Clover and Poppy Parade, and I'm going to attach it to the front of this card and do exactly the same process that I did before with the other one. I kind of just held my finger in the spot that I knew I needed to add adhesive from. You obviously only want to add adhesive on half of your die cut, because if you add it to the other half, it'll stick and the whole card will be closed. So we want this to pop open and not stay shut. So I'm taking the same, I'm doing another die cut, same thing, lining it up with the die cut I've already done, closing this on top, and then when I open it, it's in the exact same location that the front piece is in. Love that tip. Okay, I've got a piece of basic black cardstock here, and I'm covering it with my embossing buddy from Stampin' Up. I have Versamark ink, and I'm using my Merry Christmas sentiment. I'm going to stamp this in the Versamark, and then I'm going to use my white embossing powder to emboss this sentiment. I will tell you that I use Hero Arts white embossing powder because I feel like Stampin' Up embossing powder is a little bit like very vanilla. It's got a little bit of a yellow to it. So I actually really like having both in my arsenal, because if I am stamping something that has more of an antique-y look, or I'm using a very vanilla cardstock, then having that Stampin' Up white embossing powder comes in really handy. So, but I do have both on hand so that, because I'm anal, I'm crazy, so it has to be really white if it says it's white, or it will bother me. Okay, so while I'm heating this up, that's what I'm doing while I'm off camera, I wanted to just share with you again that this set is going to be available on August 1st to purchase. However, if you want to get it now, you can purchase the Stampin' Up Starter Kit, and there's details about that over on my blog, and there's a link there that says join my team information, so you can click on that for more info. So just go to my blog at loveandstampin.com and click on blog. It's at the top right hand corner, and you'll be able to read more info. Look at how this just pops. It's stunning. I love black, white, green, and red together. There's just something about that color combination that is just crisp and beautiful, and it just always looks nice. The other one is pink, green, white, and black. Very, very stunning. So there's my cards. Aren't they great? I just love how they turned out, and I absolutely love this blended color or blended season bundle that you can get your hands on. I will be doing more videos to feature the pencils, but look at all these different colors that I did. I had the best time. I sat for 2 hours and colored. It was fantastic. Okay, here's 2 videos from me. If you want to check out more, click on the circle with my face to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love it if you placed an order with me at shoploveandstampin.com. Check out my blog at loveandstampin.com, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.